Welcome on the Prowl. I'm your host, Gabby Raby, and with me today is the coach of the Destrehan Wildcats, Coach Stephen Robicheaux. Thanks for joining us this week.
Thank you, Gary.
Coming up on today's show, Coach Robicheaux will break down last week's game against the East St. John Wildcats, and we will get Coach to preview this week's game against the Central Lafourche Trojans. Overall, how does it feel to be ranked third in the state by SportsNola.com, with only two select schools ranked 1 and 2 ahead of you?
It's a great honor. It means that your kids are doing a good job. Assistant coaches are doing a tremendous job. You know, we're fortunate to be 6-0. We played some good teams. Of course, we had some great games against Hornville, John Arrett, East St. John. So, you know, we played 6 and won 6. So that's a good thing. We still have a ways to go with getting better. But right now, I'm very excited about where we're at.
Coach, what part of your defense do you think needs to be improved throughout the season?
Well, you know, like it's been said before that we replaced 9 on defense, and of course that means that you only had 2 that came back that had any playing time, and one of those players were actually playing a different position that they are now. So I think as we gain experience, I think we get better every week. We do take some steps backwards every now and then, but I'm so pleased that what Coach Scott has done. He's done a tremendous job with these inexperienced kids, and they've done a great job, and they've gotten better and better, and that's what's got to happen for us to hopefully make a little bit of a run in the playoffs.
In an interview with Parish Sports, you stated that a lot of mental mistakes were made during the game. What were those mistakes?
Well, when you look at the game and the way things happen, those costly penalties, things that you normally don't do, I think it was a lack of focus. I didn't have the guys prepared well enough for the game, obviously. Just mental mistakes, mental breakdowns, little things that just kind of rolled on us. But my hat's off to East St. John. They had a tremendous game plan. They hurt us with some things early, and I just think that with the mental mistakes and so forth, it kind of hurt us in the first half. But got together at halftime, and the kids came out and did a tremendous job in the second half. So I'm happy about the outcome of the game.
Let's take a look at the first half highlights.
John had a phenomenal game. He had 170 yards and 3 touchdowns. Heck of a sophomore. I tell you what, done a tremendous job for us. Defense gave a couple of big plays, but other than that, they played tough. And East St. John's got some good players, so I was happy with the way they played. It's John Emery again running inside. Offensive line doing a tremendous job blocking for him. J.O. Blood with a great pass to Quentin Tober. 2 sophomores right there that should have a bright future for us. And J.O. hits Justin Jefferson on a big 3rd down conversion right here. So it worked once, so we went back to it. Justin's so tough to guard with 6'3" frame and does a tremendous job catching the ball. J.R. finds Chancey Confident in the flat, gets in the end zone, a big touchdown for us. Big play right here by Jay Stroud. He called him down, but he did a good job getting the ball out.
Congrats on the big win, but this time you had to make a second half comeback. What does it say about your team?
Well, you know, one or two things I kind of got from the game. Number one, is I need to do a better job of getting prepared to start the game, obviously. I thought that they came out flat. We wasn't ready to play, and then we're going to get that fixed. On the other part of that, you know, you're excited about the way your team handled themselves. One thing we talked about at halftime was you probably played the worst half of Destrehan in a long time, and you came back and outscored them 26-0 in the second half. So we're really excited about the way our team refocused, settled down, and it was able to come out and make plays in the second half.
Coach, what were your thoughts about East St. John's quarterback, Marquise Derensburg, returning from his shoulder injury?
I tell you what, he is a tough individual. You know, he had a torn labrum, and it definitely affected the way he threw the football. But, you know, he came in there with that shoulder injury and ran the ball hard, ran the offense, made some big plays early, throwing the ball. But just him being on the field, running the football, and him commanding that offense was truly amazing. And my hat's off to him. He's a great player, and he did a tremendous job against us.
How would you compare Destrehan's quarterback, J.R. Blood, to Derensburg?
I think it's a different type of quarterback. Marquise is more of a running type quarterback. He's got a great arm, but he likes to run the football. JR likes to throw the football. He's not that much of a big running quarterback, but JR, for a young guy, has tremendous touch. He doesn't miss many passes. Great accuracy. He's throwing for completed over 70% of the passes in the last 3 games. So he's been phenomenal. And you know, if he can continue to do that until we get Cohen back, it'll definitely help us this season.
How do you think your team was affected after missing the 25-yard field goal in the first minute of the game?
Yeah, that's a big thing. Special teams. We talk about the 3 phases of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. And you got to be good, you know. And Bradley's been phenomenal for us all year. It just seemed like that night he was off a little bit, and that happens. And I think kicking becomes more of a mental thing. And when he missed that first one, he missed a couple extra points after that. But I just think it becomes a situation where he's going to be fine. He just needs to settle down. You know, he came and made the big kick against Hornbill to win the game, and then he misses this one against East St. John. So that's the way it goes with kickers. He's going to be fine. He does a tremendous job for us, so I think we'll be okay.
What are your thoughts on your special teams during the game?
Well, special teams, but more than the kick was the return, the opening kickoff. East St. John returned the kick. They probably should have scored, but one of our players made a good play and getting it down, and he scored 2 plays later. But we got to do a better job of containing those guys, and we can't allow big run backs like that. If they can start on the positive side of the field, then that hurts your defense. So we got to do a better job. Our kids were committed to it this week, so I'm sure we'll be better this week.
Let's take a look at the second half highlights.
They had a couple of personal foul calls, so they had to kick off from their own 6-yard line. I always talk about the first 3 minutes of the second half is the most important. Christian Mosley with a good return gets it to the 32-yard line. There's Christian running the ball up the middle. Offensive line doing a good job. Christian again, around in. John with a beautiful run, nice cut in the hole. John Emery with a good one, gets us going here in the second half. The defense started playing with a little fire. We harass Marquise here, throws the ball, makes a bad throw. JR hitting Mike Young. Mike Young's just coming back. He's been hurt, and so we're finally getting him back. So we're looking for big things for him from the second half of the season. Bryce Ciano comes in. Jay Stroud harassing Marquise, makes him throw a bad pass. Yeah, JR's going to hook up with Mike Young. Great route, great pass, great touch. Big score for us. Jonathan Duhorn does a good job getting on the receiver, and then all of a sudden throws a bad ball right to him, so it makes a big pick. It's a big play for us to get the ball right there on the 30-yard line. And then John Emery takes the ball around in, and great blocking by Tobar, gets into the end zone. Coach Boyne did a phenomenal job in the second half getting our guys going, and it really showed after halftime. Jay Stroud with a big blitz. Jay Stroud with a hurry again. Jabril Fields throws it. A nice catch by Coach Robicheaux right there. John Emery one more time, 42-yard run. Jay Stroud with a big play right here. Causes the fumble. Tariq Rogers picks it up. Big turnover late in the game for us.
Was this a key point in the game when quarterback J.R. Blood and wide receiver Michael Young connected for a touchdown with 9:20 left in the game?
Yeah, that was big. You know, we needed to score. It kind of put us right there with them. You know, JR does a great job. Mike ran a great route, and he was wide open and for a big play for a big touchdown. Big touchdown that we needed. You know, we were kind of made it 23-25 right there. So it was a big play for us.
How do you feel when Daresbury's pass was intercepted by Jonathan Duhon in the fourth quarter?
Well, you know, we talked about, you know, getting under the receivers. We knew that Marquise had a tough time throwing the ball deep. He only tried 2 or 3 all night long, but it's big for us to get under the receivers, and John did that. And, and it was a great catch, and he ends up getting it. That was a big play for us to kind of make sure that we kind of stayed ahead right there, and there's no doubt that it was a big play.
Sophomore running back John Emery made a 42-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter. How do you see him progressing the rest of the season and becoming an asset to the team?
John's a phenomenal back. He, you could see it. You could see it as freshman year. He's going to be real good. He had a great freshman season, and now he's coming in as a sophomore. He kind of played him a little bit early, and now we're starting to play him more and more. He's a phenomenal specimen. He's 6 foot, 190 pounds, and can run. So he's tough to bring down. He has great vision. He's got great, making people miss skills. So I think if he continues doing what he's doing, he's got a chance to be real special for us down the road.
How do you feel about your offense and defense's performance throughout the second half after the amazing comeback?
When you look at things, it's how you handle yourself. And for us, I think kind of showed a little character, both on offense and defense, coming out of halftime and knowing that we needed to turn the game around because East St. John was definitely playing with a little momentum. So offensively, we had to move the ball. Coach Boyne, did some things at halftime that made them move a little bit better. So it worked out well for us. Coach Scott made some adjustments on defense, and so kids bought in, did what the coordinators asked them to do, and I was just real happy in a way for us to outscore East St. John 26-0 in the second half to get the big win. What
changes did you see in the team during the second half that weren't shown in the first half?
I think a lot of it was enthusiasm. A lot of it was a lot more focus. He did away with a lot of the penalties. So I just think that shows that we were ready to play a lot more in the second half than we were in the first.
Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up, we'll get Coach to look ahead at this week's game against the Central Lafourche Trojans. We'll be right back. Welcome back to On the Prowl. I'm your host, Gabby Raby. Even when ranked third in the state, do you think there's still room for improvement?
Oh, definitely. The third state ranking really doesn't mean anything right now. It just means that we happen to win 6 games and we beat some good teams, but we still need a lot of work. Defensively, we need to get better, obviously. Offensively, we need to be able to do some different things also. So there's no doubt we need to get better. We continuously talk about getting better. Saturday morning when we had our team meeting, it wasn't too pretty in there because of the way we played Friday night. So if you're thinking you're good and you think you don't need to get better, then that's usually the time you get beat. So there's always room for improvement. Our kids understand that. They do a tremendous job. So we're going to keep pushing those guys as much as we can.
Central Lafourche is coming off 2 losses in the past 2 weeks. Do you think this will affect how they play?
Central does a good job with great tradition. They have great fans. They do a tremendous job. They're kind of in a little panic mode right now. Obviously, coming off of 2 losses, they won 4 in a row. Then they lose to H.L. Bourgeois, a game they probably should have won. And then, of course, Thibodeau beat them pretty good. But I think they're going to be ready to play. Coach Bernard has, in the past, have done great things against Destrehan as far as getting his team ready and causing us problems. So I think we're going to be in a battle and in a war on Friday night because we have to go to Central Lafourche, and it's always a tough place to play. So hopefully we can get down there and get it done and get another win.
Do you think your team is ready to take on Central Lafourche Trojans on Friday?
We're not there yet. Obviously, it's only Tuesday, but hopefully by the end of the week, we'll be ready to go.
Always a pleasure talking with you,
Thank
Coach.
you, Gavin. Appreciate you.
And that will do it for this week's edition on the Prowl. For updates on Press Play Productions, make sure to check out our website at presstheplay.tv. I'm your host, Gabby Raby. Thanks for watching.